This question comes from Sam, who asks, what would happen if you put all the planets in the solar system in line side by side? Now, I'm guessing that when Sam asked this, he imagined a neat little row of planets like this. However, it turns out that if you lined up all the planets in our solar system, you might get something closer to this. Uranus is almost twice as wide as Earth, so having it sandwiched between Saturn and Neptune would lead to some pretty intense gravitational tugging. And I think we can all agree that no one wants to mess with a pissed-off Uranus. But assuming that we could wrangle the sideways planet, how close could the rest of them actually get to each other without smashing into each other? Let's start with Mercury. It's tiny compared to the rest of the planets, so we'll use that as our unit of measurement. If Mercury were 1 meter wide, Earth would be about 4 meters wide. We can fit about 2 Earths side by side with Mercury, and that leaves us with less than 6 centimeters of space in between before we run out of room. In theory, that means we should be able to squeeze 83 Earths next to each other, which is already a lot of real estate. But what about the gas giants? If we include Jupiter, our tower of planets gets wider at the top, because it's 11 times bigger than Earth. We'd need a whole new unit of measurement. If Mercury is 1 meter, Earth is 4 meters, and Jupiter is 45 meters. Let's see how much space we have to spare. Jupiter is almost exactly 33 meters longer than the diameter of Earth. So if we subtract the width of Earth from our remaining gap, we're left with less than 2 meters. That's not enough room for even one of Saturn's middle fingers, let alone the entire ringed planet. So, Jupiter would need to scooch over and share the gap with its bestie Saturn. When we measure Saturn's rings, they're about 200,000 kilometers wide, which is more than 120 times the diameter of Earth. And we don't want the rings to touch Jupiter. So we'll need to add a gap between the two planets. Even if we cram all the way to the edges of the rings, we still can't fit Neptune. Its diameter is 49,000 kilometers long, which is more than 3 times the length of Saturn's rings. So sorry, Neptune. You're on Pluto's level. These measurements are based on the planet's diameters, but some of them have very thick atmospheres. If we measured instead by the edge of their atmospheres, we'd have to start over with a brand new tower of planets. But either way, if you tried to line up all the planets in the solar system, you'd need to start from Mercury and add Earth, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Then you could take a step back and admire the totally not creepy planetary centipede you just made.